Someone sent me the amazing Laura Danger talking about this Instagram post. They asked me, what did I think? So I'm going to run through it and just share what I think as someone who is politically involved in my community. And full disclosure, my partner and I do not have different political views because that would be really hard to deal with. So if your partner has different political views, read this ASAP. Remember, this is not forever. Be conscious of what matters most, the election or your relationship. What matters most, the election or your relationship? I mean, if the election is going to determine if you have bodily autonomy, or if people in your community have rights, or if you have rights to marry who you want, to be with who you want, to get health care that you need. I mean, certainly there are things to disagree about, but we can't disagree that people deserve human rights and still be in a relationship. Like, those are core values. And why are you in a relationship with someone who doesn't believe that you have the right to make choices about your own body? Because unfortunately, some of these decisions will be forever if we can't undo them. Focus on the good in your partner. The brain is built to remember the negative, and what I do is I go to my positive illusions. I say, well, okay, he thinks that. I don't share that view, but he's also hilariously funny. I love how this is leaning toward talking to the women about what they should do, right? Like, it's not talking to the men who maybe don't have the same political views as their spouse. They're just allowed to have those views, right? They just have them, and the women have to put up with it. Well, okay, he thinks that I shouldn't have bodily autonomy, and he thinks we should support someone who tried to overthrow the government, but he's also hilariously funny. Because being funny is what's going to allow you to have bodily autonomy? Oh, it's fine. I can have an abortion because my husband's hilariously funny. That's not how it works. Do activities that stimulate discussion and introspection. Find common interests like bike riding or taking walks together. Surprise each other by doing something you know your partner will appreciate. You know what I appreciate that my partner did? I appreciate that he voted for candidates that would support my rights and our daughter's rights. I appreciate that we have common interests, like me being able to access the healthcare that I need, like us valuing all the members in our community and not wanting to see rights being taken away from people. We also have common interests like our children, and we want their public schools to be the best they can be, so we have to vote Democrat. Oh yeah, my husband votes against my bodily autonomy, but it's fine because we take bike rides together and walk often. Compromise, communicate, and cooperate. Adversity breeds either strength or weakness. Choose the one you want. Allow yourself to go beyond your growth's edge and fight for what means the most to you. Again, is this advice that we're giving a man? Or are we just telling women that they need to compromise, communicate, and cooperate? I don't want to cooperate with someone who wants to take my rights away. I don't want to cooperate with someone who doesn't believe in democracy. I am fighting for what means the most to me. And that's why I'm not just going to be like, oh, that's fine. You don't value my rights, but like, we can still be in a relationship. Exercise compassion and restraint. It's easy to act out. It's harder to watch your words and behavior. But if you're seeking relational maturity, you must practice mindfulness and think of the consequences of your behavior. Again, do we really believe that this advice is for men? Do we really believe that people would tell men that they have to watch their words and behavior? I mean, one side is actively fighting against social emotional learning in schools, so... And yeah, it is a little easy to act out. Let's stop all the tone policing when your rights are being taken away. What are you supposed to do? Just be like, okay, that's fine. And if all else fails, don't talk politics. Put that conversation in a container where the genie can't pop out. Oh, how cute. Just don't talk politics, and then we never have to think about them. It'll never affect our everyday lives. Privileged much? And also, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just people I know. But conflict avoidance really never solves any problems whatsoever. Do we really need to encourage people to stop talking about things more? If you want to solve problems, you have to talk about it. You will still have the problem there 100% of the time if you shut down and refuse to talk about it. And is the genie the politics? Because like, you can't just put politics in a container. Like, oh, politics are done for now. I'll think about them next year. No, politicians vote on things that affect us every day. Okay, let's read the caption. If you're a Democrat in love with a Republican or vice versa, political differences can be stressful. And with election season in full swing and politics being so hostile these days, chances are things are 10 times worse. why are politics so hostile? I don't know, because one side's trying to take rights away from other people. One side literally doesn't want to govern. One side supported and is still supporting an insurrectionist. Yeah, I'd say that would make things a little hostile. And then they talk about, here's expert advice to navigate politics in your relationship, all the stuff that we just talked about. So to recap, the expert advice is basically don't talk politics, compromise, think about what's more important, the election or your relationship. And that's interesting to me because it's not just the election, right? It's what happens after those candidates get elected and the policies that they enact. It's not just like, oh, the election's over, now we don't have to think about politics anymore. Like, it's literally happening every day. This is not a good take. I would suggest have an open conversation, talk about what you value, and maybe do it before you're in a relationship with someone. Like, bring that to the table right away. Come with facts, come with an open mind. Ask, hey, I'm curious as to why you think that. I'm curious as to why you think I shouldn't be able to make my own decisions about my body. And a little bit of, oh, where'd you hear that? I hadn't heard that. Can you share your source with me? At the end of the day, if someone doesn't respect your human rights, I don't know. It'd be hard to be in a relationship with them. The country is going to continue to be so hostile until we do talk politics, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. And I'm not saying that we can't talk with people who are on the other side. I've done it plenty. But I think when we meet in the middle, we have curious and open and honest conversations, and we share stories about how these policies would really affect our day-to-day lives, that's when we can see change being made. So basically, don't take any of this advice.